Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Today I wanted to read on the UK. As you're probably aware, the current Prime Minister, the head of, not democratically elected, he's the head of the Tory party, and he deposed the previous Prime Minister, Theresa May, has approached the Queen. The Queen's agreed to shut down the UK Parliament for more than a month. I don't think it resumes until October the 14th. The decision is designed to dampen down, suppress any dissent. Boris Johnson has said that the UK will crash out of the EU on October the 31st if a deal hasn't been reached until then. Leaked cabinet papers have outlined a scenario where the UK crashes out of the EU as being quite disastrous. So there's huge, I won't even call them issues. There's a crisis in the UK at the moment. And it's one that we should all be noting, be aware of, because, we are, as a result of the instability across the world, we're looking at potentially a global recession. So I want to know, the Labor Party, Jeremy Corbyn, could there be a vote of no confidence in this government, in Boris Johnson's leadership? Will there be a general election? And I've read on this in the past, will the UK leave the EU? Will it crash out without a deal? So they're the questions I'm going to ask. So first of all, let's have a look. Will the UK crash out of the EU on October the 31st without a deal? Will the EU... So I heard a no there, but we're just at the start here. Will the UK crash out of the EU without a deal on October the 31st? Crash out of the EU without a deal. Let's have a look. So the story is still being written, is what I'm feeling from that card. Let me bring the laptop down. I'm using my 78 Mythical Tarot for this reading. Okay, challenged by the Eight of Pentacles. This is the legacy. Okay, so this is describing the fear. There is fear about Boris Johnson's decisions and actions because of the legacy that it might leave. People are worried, fearful for the future. With this High Priestess, it's showing that not all is revealed around this situation yet. Let's have a look at the foundation of the reading. This is people are worried about their money, and this is not just families and their wealth. This is companies, this is industry. That people are generally concerned about the economic impact of crashing out that this would have, crashing out on the October the 31st. Interesting, in the past we've got the Devil card here. This again can be chained to I guess, compulsion, obsession, greed. It's almost like Boris Johnson came in with something to prove, and he is pushing on with his agenda. And in some way, this is gripping him, but it's also gripping the nation. It's almost like they can't break free of Brexit and everything that Brexit represents. The division in the country, they're caught. They're absolutely entwined and caught by this. We have judgment as a potential future around this question. Something is ending, and judgment will come down in some way. It's a necessary ending as well. Is this Brexit, or is this the end of Boris Johnson's moves to crash out? Because that's the question, crashing out on the 31st of October. We have in the near future, we've got hope. So even though the Parliament apparently has been shut down, we've still got the Star of Hope with this card coming forward. So possibly there is hope left yet in this situation. Currently, though, we have the Three of Swords, which is loss, and it's also breakup, it's divorcing oneself. So it's almost as if Brexit represents, it's almost like a divorce. What happens after a divorce? A marriage breaks down. You've got the after effects, and there are financial after effects in any union that splits, and so people are quite rightly concerned about this loss. What is the environment around this? The Queen of Pentacles. Look, it is all around stabilising the economy. If Johnson is going to be stopped in any way, and there are a number of ways that he could, from crashing out of the EU on October the 31st, it will be around concerns for the economy. Leaked cabinet papers have already detailed potentially negative impacts, more than negative impacts. It will tip the UK, could tip the UK into recession. Now, hopes and fears. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is the crisis. There is the hope that the crisis will be averted still. Okay. The outcome card, the Queen of Wands, that's nice. This talks about stability. It talks about a plan coming forward that will bring stability with it. And it's going to be pushed forward fairly strongly. Unfortunately, there will be loss in this plan. I don't know who that loss is for, but there is going to be a rally in some way. My feeling is with that Star of Hope, a rally to avert loss and to bring stability back. Now, it's mirrored by this Five of Swords, which is an abuse of power. There's no two ways. We've had, I think, a Tory member of the government who was actually a minister in Margaret Thatcher's government resign in protest. There are commentators who feel the Queen herself has been compromised by Johnson going to her and shutting down the government for this length of time, clearly in a politically motivated move, clearly to stop dissent and decisions that may interfere with his agenda to leave the EU come what may, deal or no deal. This is quite apparent. In this tarot reading, it is an abuse of his power. Now, we've got to remember Boris Johnson does not have a mandate. Theresa May had a slim one, very slim one. She doesn't have a majority government. She had to form a coalition. This is very, very, quite serious for the United Kingdom. We have Scotland who voted in the majority to remain in the EU. There are now challenging Boris Johnson's actions in Scottish courts, higher courts. Will this result in the breaking up of the UK? Well, that's a question that we can ask. There is new starts here, though. Although this cat has various parts, tail included, I think, on fire, this is also showing that there is going to be a fairly dynamic, brave, inspirational move by somebody to avert a crisis. Let's have a look at what's underneath here. We've got information coming out fairly quickly. Explosive information is likely to come out in relation to this question in the next few days, I think, or in the short term. The Five of Wands, of course, this is just going to create more obstacles, challenges, backroom brawls, arguments, argy-bargy, however you like to describe this. This is the atmosphere currently around this question. And we've got the Queen of Swords. So somebody is going to step forward. Some people don't like this card, but I actually think it's quite a nice card. It's got a feeling that there's going to be strong action to come forward, which will cut through, and it will present a fairly logical, discerning plan for the future. So I feel that there's going to be some action that we're going to see that's going to prevent a crisis, and there is going to be judgment for Johnson's actions in closing down what some people are viewing as very undemocratic. Okay, so Will the UK crash out of the EU? It looks like that's going to be somehow averted. Okay, so the next question then I've got to ask is Boris Johnson going to strike a deal? After putting everybody through this, he's over there. I'm more feeling that there's going to be, I don't know whether it's a general election called, or there's going to be something there that's going to come in that we can't see now. It's of course the clock is ticking. As I spoke to to Lena Rodriguez from Tarot Down Under this morning, and yes, she described it as the clock is ticking. This is a fairly urgent situation. So that's why Boris Johnson is saying his negotiators will be in Brussels twice a week or something like that, trying to strike that deal. Of course, he's got to save face now. He can't be seen as irresponsibly closing down the UK Parliament, crashing out of the EU and raining down chaos and destruction and a recession on the UK. He would never be re-elected, would he? So he's playing quite a dangerous game. Does he know the game that he's playing? Is he aware? Or is he just crashing through with his own will and the force of his ego? His track record, unfortunately, is not one of achievement. There's nothing in his past that would suggest he can steer this ship through this a crisis of his own making, a constitutional crisis. But let's have a look. Is Boris Johnson going to get a deal with the EU? It doesn't appear that we're going to. We are. It doesn't appear the UK will crash out of the EU. Is he on October the 31st? There could be many reasons for that, including a general election. But let's have a look. Or one of these challenges in the High Courts being successful, so stopping him from closing the Parliament. Could be anything really, but let's see. It could also be that he might make a deal. Okay, so will Boris Johnson make a deal with the EU? Will Boris Johnson make a deal with the EU and have an orderly exit from the EU? Will Boris Johnson make a deal with the EU? Okay, let's have a look. We've got the Two of Wands, so that's a nice card. That's talking about a plan that will mature with time. Now, the other scenario is there could be a vote to extend the deadline. However, that's challenged by his action here, this fiery action of things coming forward with speed. Two signifier cards, very interesting. I just want to stop there and we'll have a look at those cards. This is a signifier card. A plan needs to be made for the long term, including trade, and it's challenged by the speed of the things coming forward very quickly. They're interesting signifier cards in this situation. The foundation of the reading is the Fool card. Now, this can either be a new start, which would be an ideal situation, or it can be somebody about to be step off off the cliff. Which is it? Okay. In the past, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. This is things changing for the better. Now that's interesting. Will he strike a deal? Things changing for the better. It's quite it's a major arcana. There's an aspect again of destiny here. Okay, we've got the King of Wands. We've got strong leadership as the potential future here. Strong leadership. Now, because of the murkiness of this situation, it's too early to say, is that King of Wands Boris Johnson? There's strong leadership that's going to come forward in relation to this question. In the immediate future, we've got justice, though. There's a balancing of something here. Justice. I might have to do some clarifiers. Currently, now that there are secrets, there are things that we don't know about this situation. A lot going on behind the scenes. The environment around deals being made. Okay. We've got the Four of Wands. The hope is the celebration. Will Johnson be able to make a deal? The Eight of Pentacles. This is really the money. It's the card of the skilled, could be the skilled negotiator, and it's also the card of leaving a legacy. So creating something to leave a legacy. Let's see what that is clarified by. Clarified by the Seven of Cups, being able to make a choice here. Being able to make a choice. So, yeah, okay. And we've got the Six of Cups going back to the past. All right. So at stake here is the future, and it's the future economy. The clarifier card is not being able to make a choice here, or choices needing to be made, but it's difficult to make that choice. The other aspect of this card is not having enough clear air to actually make a choice. And we've, interestingly enough, got the Six of Cups going back to a better time in the past. Can be interpreted a couple of ways. Either he will be successful, or something's going to occur which is going to prevent this train wreck that possibly could be happening. The Knight of Pentacles, these are the monetary deals here that could be made. It's also the focus on reliability of the economy. The Empress, that's interesting. The Empress, that's interesting because that could be the Queen. The Empress is the mother, and it is the abundance. But we've also got the Tower here. These are unseen energies. Let me draw some clarifiers on that Eight of Pentacles. I'll just bring the laptop down. It's indicating that either they will strike a deal or something's going to occur, because we've got the Tower card here. We've also got leadership, someone stepping forward strongly to lead. Let's get this clarification. Firstly, on the King of Wands, is this Boris Johnson's leadership? Is he able to do what Theresa May couldn't do? Let's have some clarity. Is this Boris Johnson? Clarity on the King of Wands, please, Spirit. Clarity on the King of Wands. Okay, so, loans and debts. Okay, so borrowings and being in debt to somebody, and we've got balance coming back into things, and we've also got the Seven of Wands, standing one's ground. Okay, could be Boris Johnson's leadership to date. However, we've got the Six of Pentacles, someone extending a helping hand here. It's really the borrowings, loans and debts. Could be trade deals. Okay, let's have a look at the Eight of Pentacles. We asked, is there a deal going to be made? Is there a deal going to be made? Let's see, is there a deal going to be made? Okay, what I'm getting, the Six, we're going back to the past. Here. We've got two Six of Cups. We've got the Knave of Pentacles, some kind of news around money, obviously, but we've also got a theft and betrayal. Okay, I think what's going on here, as I was pulling those cards, what I felt was a deal will be on the table, but it won't be accepted by the Parliament. That's what I'm feeling. Because we've got those two Six of Cups, wanting to go back to a better time. Let's have a look. If a deal is going to be brokered, will it be acceptable to the Parliament? God knows the Parliament's not there, really, to comment until after October the 14th, and there doesn't appear, and this could be Johnson's strategy, going with a lesser deal just to leave, not crashing out of the EU, but taking a deal that may not be acceptable to everyone. And I'm hearing that Scotland is not going to accept this. Okay, so look for that. Look for Scotland's role in all of this. Okay, will the deal be accepted? Will the deal Will the Brexit deal be accepted by the UK Parliament, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland? Will the Brexit deal be accepted? Will the Brexit deal be accepted? All right, let's see. Okay, so we've got the world, we've got endings and beginnings there. We've got the Ten of Cups. This is families. This is really providing for I guess, the citizens of the UK. Endings and beginnings. The Queen of Cups, support. Right. We've got some isolation here. Underneath that World card, we've got some theft and betrayal. Underneath the Ten of Cups, the families feel like they will be betrayed. And we've got the Three of Wands under the Queen of Cups. This is an expansion, a commercial expansion. So let's have a look here. New starts. And the Queen of Swords. Okay, again, this card came up. Clarifying the Hermit card. This is all taking place in September as well. Okay, so yeah, look, he may achieve a deal. He may achieve a deal, or all right. Let's ask if there's going to be a vote of no confidence, in which case there would be a general election. Okay, so it looks like he might come forward with a deal. And I'm feeling with that Hermit card, this will happen in September. But there is some isolation, an isolation aspect to there. Not everybody's going to accept that deal. Okay, and I go to Scotland. All right, so, all right, well, I'm going to ask that because I'm drawn to Scotland. Will Scotland accept the deal? Will Scotland? No. Okay, I'm getting no. All right, let's see. We've got the Lovers card. We've got Strength and Endurance, of course, something you would associate with Scottish people. We've got the Five of Wands. They're going to argue. They're going to put obstacles here. That's a no acceptance there. We've got the Four of Swords reversed. I don't usually read reversals, but this has come out reversed. This is talking about they're going to take a fight up. I'm not sure of Boris Johnson's star sign. They're going to take a fight up to the English, basically. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. It's all about Scotland protecting her own interests, and it's her own financial interests. As I said, they voted very strongly to remain. Okay, and the Five of Wands, we've got the King of Pentacles. Yeah, it's all about the economic loss for Scotland here. What they feel is the economic loss. They feel that this would be their Tower moment. The Nine of Cups. This is around trade. It's going to be around trade that they will bring forward their arguments with. And the Eight of Pentacles. Again, this legacy, this economic legacy for the future. Okay, this is a no. Scotland's not going to accept the deal that Johnson brokers. All right, now, and there could be others as well that won't like it, that won't want that deal. All right, so let's have a look. Will there be a general election? I know we're getting it to 24 minutes, but this is a quite substantial issue for the UK and for the world. We don't need more instability. Okay, will there be a general election called? Will there be a general election called before October the 31st in the UK? Will there be a general election called in the UK before October the 30th? Well, will there be a general election called before, on or around, or before or near October the 31st? Okay, all right. Pretty complex situation. The Four of Pentacles, insecurity, and it is around the money and around the economy. The Knight of Wands, that insecurity is being challenged really by somebody coming fairly quickly forward with a new plan. Okay, we've got Six of Swords, moving on. This is relocating, moving from one situation which is difficult, could even be chaotic, destructive, moving on to a safer shore. The High Priestess, there's information going to come out between now and October the 31st. It's actually going to be a game changer. It's being held back. That information's being held back. Queen of Wands, okay, this is lovely. Stability, and this new plan will bring forward stability. We've got balance coming into the situation in the near future. Currently, we've got this loss. We're coming right back full circle here. And we've got the Mother, the Empress card coming out as well. Yeah, there's going to be stability brought back into this situation because this is a completion card with the Ten of Wands. Struggle. It's tremendous struggle. The Outcome card, there is a Page of Swords. There is something that's going to come out. Will there be an election called? The Six of Pentacles, loans and debts, being in debt here to somebody. This is all around the economy. Of course, the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so I think I don't know how it's all going to work because not even the parliamentarians know. But there's going to be information brought forward around the damage to the economy. Either I do feel Johnson might be able to strike a deal or get close to striking a deal. That deal's not going to be accepted because of there's a monetary aspect here people are not going to be happy with. Unseen energies, we've got this Virgo energy here, September, isolation. Johnson's just not going to be able to pull it off, I don't think. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. This is wish fulfillment, and we've got the Crossroads card. Will there be a general election? There is certainly going to be a plan come forward. I'm not seeing. There's going to be information come out about the weakening of the economy. There's going to be more information laid on the table, either with this deal or without it. That is going to be a game changer. There's going to be possibly what I'm seeing. There could even be an interim government formed as well. So it's murky waters, and it's hard to navigate within this muddle. It's more than a muddle. It's a crisis. It's a constitutional crisis. But here is what I think might happen. I feel that Johnson's going to step forward with strong leadership. Obviously, he's going to appear as the strong leader. He could even get a deal with the EU. However, possibly Scotland and others are not going to accept that deal. And I feel that there could even be some kind of interim arrangement formed, a government, whether it would be Corbyn or a coalition or something. Something's going to occur which will possibly remove the Tories. So I'm just going to quickly ask that, will an interim government be formed? Will Johnson lose the confidence of the Parliament? Not that I don't think he ever had it. Will he lose that confidence? And will an interim government be formed? I think that's how it's going to go. Okay, so we've got deals, people coming together in some way. We've got businesses. I feel that the industry, corporations, businesses are going to have a big say in all of this. And we've got the Empress card, wanting things stabilised. The Six of Pentacles. It is all around the. There's something around the monetary arrangements here that's not going to please people. We've got this Sword of Truth coming out. It's the damage to businesses, I feel, and the Ace of Wands. We've got new starts here. Yeah, this is a yes card. The phoenix rising out of the ashes. Okay, and we've got the dragon tamer energy, literally taming this impulsive rush that Johnson's bringing with him, bringing in more stability. And the Eight of Cups, I feel that Johnson will walk away eventually. Is there going to be an interim government? Yeah, people coming together. There could be. I'm not getting a clear read, but this is coming together, working in a team to fix something. What is at the base here? We've got our Queen of Swords here, cutting through with a strategic plan. This is somebody being knifed in the back, the Ten of Swords, and we've got Justice, this Ace of Swords coming through. I feel if I were to pull one more card from the base of the pack, this is the Hanged Man, not moving forward. I feel that somehow there's going to be some kind of coalition formed in the interim, some sort of interim government perhaps. All right, that's my take on a very, very complex, difficult situation that nobody can really see their way through. Look to Scotland to bring forward some kind of strong action, whether that's from one of their courts. Look to Johnson coming forward with a potential deal. He might talk about that. He's, either gets a deal or brings forward a deal, but there's a rejection of that deal. And I feel also look toward the rise in concern and angst from businesses in the UK and how this might be affecting them. I think at the end of the day, stability is going to come, but it possibly will come through perhaps some kind of interim government coming forward, and of course then what follows that is a general election. The only question I didn't ask would be if Johnson would have to step down with a vote of no confidence and the Tories bring forward another leader. That's always a possibility, but I'm not going to read on that today. I'll leave that on the table and we'll see how it all unfolds. I may be right, I may be wrong. Let's see. Okay, thank you.